The French Revolution gave you democracy. It also gave you nationalism, total war, the reign of terror, Napoleon's million dead, and the specific political template that produced every revolution from 1789 to today, including the ones that failed. What if France had gotten the same rights, representation, equality before law, abolition of feudal privilege, without the blood? What if Louis XVI had listened? May 5, 1789. France is bankrupt. The national debt has ballooned through decades of war spending. The American Revolution alone cost France 1.3 billion livres. The harvest of 1788 was catastrophic. Bread prices have doubled in a year. The people are hungry and furious. Louis XVI has called the Estates General, France's ancient parliament, dormant for 175 years, because he has no other choice. He needs to raise taxes. The nobles refuse to be taxed without consent. The clergy won't cooperate. Only the Estates General can authorize new revenue. His finance minister, Jacques Necker, has prepared a comprehensive reform package. Tax the nobility. Establish a permanent national legislature. Convert France from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional one, like Britain after 1688. Necker is popular with the people. He is respected by the moderate delegates. His plan can work. In our timeline, Louis XVI half accepts, half rejects, dithers for 2 months, fires Necker on July 11, and 3 days later, the Bastille falls. By 1793, Louis is dead. By 1799, Napoleon rules. By 1815, 1 million Europeans are dead from the wars his revolution made possible. In this timeline, Louis accepts everything. Not because he is wise, history shows he wasn't, but because Marie Antoinette, terrified by the riots already spreading in Paris, convinces him that half measures mean death. She is not wrong. On May 5, 1789, Louis XVI announces universal taxation, a permanent bicameral legislature, and a constitutional charter limiting royal power. The Estates General is transformed into a constituent assembly, by royal decree, not by revolutionary seizure. France becomes a constitutional monarchy. No storming of the Bastille. No declaration of the rights of man. No terror. No guillotine. No Napoleon. Subscribe to the Alternate Archive, a new timeline opens every week. Here is what the French Revolution actually did to the world, beyond France itself. It created a template. Before 1789, political change happened through palace coups, dynastic marriages, and slow institutional drift. After 1789, every political movement on earth had a new option: violent popular revolution that destroys the old order entirely and rebuilds from first principles. Without France 1789, that template doesn't exist. Political reformers across Europe still want representation, equality, rights. But they have a different model to follow, the British one. Gradual reform through existing institutions. Constitutional monarchy achieved through negotiation, not revolution. This sounds like a distinction without a difference. It is not. The 1848 revolutions in our timeline failed almost everywhere, but they normalized the concept of popular revolution. They made the idea of overthrowing a government by force acceptable, even romantic. Every subsequent revolution borrowed from the French playbook. Without that playbook, the 19th century's political evolution is slower. But it is also less violent. The reforms come through parliaments, charters, and negotiations. The price is patience. The payoff is that nobody invents the terror as a political tool. Napoleon Bonaparte is born in 1769. In this timeline, he still exists. He is a Corsican artillery officer in the French Royal Army. He is brilliant, ambitious, and restless. But there is no revolution to ride. No power vacuum to fill. No grande army to lead across Europe. Napoleon becomes what he was before 1789, a gifted soldier in someone else's army. He probably rises to general. He never becomes emperor. Without Napoleon, the Napoleonic Wars don't happen. 1 million Europeans who died between 1803 and 1815 live instead. The specific innovations Napoleon brought to warfare, the levée en masse, total mobilization of civilian populations, the concept of war as national project rather than royal sport, are never introduced. This matters enormously for what comes later. World War I still happens in some form. The underlying tensions, imperial rivalry, arms races, alliance systems, are structural. But its character is different. Without the Napoleonic precedent of total national mobilization, the war is fought by professional armies, not conscripted millions. It is smaller, shorter, less catastrophic. The Western Front, for years, 10 million dead, an entire generation fed into machine guns, is the product of total war doctrine applied to industrial technology. Without Napoleon's template of mass national mobilization, the Great War is a limited professional conflict. Still terrible. Not civilization ally catastrophic. Here is the deepest consequence, and the one most people miss entirely. Modern nationalism, the idea that political legitimacy comes from ethnic or cultural peoplehood rather than from divine right or institutional authority, was invented by the French Revolution. Before 1789, people were subjects of kings. After 1789, they were citizens of nations. Without French revolutionary nationalism, Italy doesn't unify in 1861. The Italian states remain a loose confederation under various princes. Germany doesn't unify in 1871. The German states remain a patchwork. There is no Bismarck because there is no nationalist movement for him to harness. The Ottoman Empire doesn't face the same nationalist dissolution in the Balkans. The multi-ethnic empire survives longer because nobody has the ideological vocabulary to demand a state for each people. No unified Germany means no German militarism. No arms race driven by aggressive nationalism. The specific chain that produced World War I, French Revolutionary Nationalism, German Unification, Wilhelmine Militarism 1914, is broken at its first link. So what does 2026 look like? Europe is a continent of constitutional monarchies. Not because monarchy is superior, but because without the French Revolution demonstrating that republics could work at national scale, the republican model never gained legitimacy fast enough to replace kingship. France is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy. The Bourbon dynasty is still on the throne, Louis XXIII, or whatever the numbering reaches. The king is a figurehead. The prime minister runs the country. It looks almost exactly like modern Britain or Sweden. The main difference, France got there without killing anyone. There was no World War I. The specific chain, nationalism, unification, militarism 1914, never formed. The great conflicts of the 19th and 20th centuries are colonial and commercial, not nationalist. They kill thousands, not millions. There was no World War II because there was no World War I to produce it. No Versailles humiliation. No Weimar. No Hitler. No Holocaust. The specific pathology of German nationalism, from Herder's cultural romanticism through Bismarck's realpolitik to Hitler's genocide, never develops because its first ingredient, revolutionary nationalism, was never invented. Technology is roughly equivalent to ours. The Industrial Revolution still happened, it was driven by economics, not politics. But its social consequences were managed differently. Without the revolutionary template, workers' movements demanded reform through existing institutions rather than through Marxist revolution. There was no Russian Revolution of 1917, because Marx's revolutionary theory was built on the French model. The Soviet Union never existed. The cost, political progress was slower. Universal suffrage came later, 1920s rather than 1910s in most European states. Women's rights moved more gradually. The explosive energy that revolution brings, the sudden smashing of old constraints, was absent. Every gain was negotiated, not seized. The pace of justice was the pace of institutional compromise. Whether that trade-off is acceptable depends entirely on whether you value stability or velocity. Whether you think rights are better when they're seized or better when they're negotiated. Whether the blood price of revolution is worth the speed it buys. The French Revolution taught humanity that the old order could be destroyed by force. That lesson saved some people faster than reform would have. It also killed millions who would have lived if the lesson had never been taught. Every revolution since 1789 has been an argument about whether the speed of violent change is worth its cost. Haiti, 1848, Russia, China, Cuba, Iran. Each one a bet that destruction creates faster than reform builds. Were they right? Is the world the French Revolution created, with all its wars, all its nationalisms, all its terrors, better than the one where Louis XVI signed a piece of paper and went back to his hunting? I change my answer every time I think about it. Until the vault opens again, subscribe to the Alternate Archive.